Okay, here's another tea you can make. So it's got goji berries, those red things up there, and the dark green is the moringa powder. If you can see that. So yeah, you can make goji berry tea, and goji berries are not a joke, you know. The Chinese medicinal system, what, the second or third largest in the world, behind, I think it might be number 2. Or it's number 3 behind the Indian Ayurvedic system, but it's definitely not ahead of those savage jungle people of the Amazon who are just don't know anything, but they've got the largest pharmacopoeia in the world, larger than the Western modern one. Anyway, so, as I was making this, a guy was telling me here from uni, and he's a Chinese guy, he was saying, not only do the Chinese put this in their chicken to make it taste better, kind of stuff it like you would maybe with cranberries, put the goji berries in, but he said not enhances your blood or purification, that too, but it makes you produce more blood, and they give it to their women when they have an overly heavy period. Or say you have a contraceptive device, what are they called? UID, the little round thing that the women put in them to stop, it's like a sperm blocker. Sometimes they can go out of place and the women can start bleeding excessively. Take goji berries, and moringa with goji berries wouldn't be a bad idea. Obviously purified water, distilled. Make it a real nice pure water. Don't get tap water, don't get bottled water, which is sometimes worse than tap water in places, because depending how bad your tap water is, like in America it's bad, you got like 16 parts per million fluoride and stuff in some places, and it's just terrible in some places in America. I've seen taps with just brown water. If you all saw that post I made to the consciousazine Facebook like page. Now, so what's funny is people seem to think they're a little bit of a snack, it's just a little berry. I'm sure you know what a goji berry looks like. Let me just take one out so you can see the actual thing. That's half a goji berry. I split them in half so the water could fully penetrate and get everything out. Remember this thing about absorbability. I'm always running into, yeah, you might be eating something, but is it absorbing? So I'm always thinking now with my food, how can I make this food absorb better, whatever I'm eating? Because that's the whole point, right? We're eating not just to make our stomachs rubbish dumps, we're eating for the nutrition and to stay alive and so on. So, what a beautiful day out there it is at the Gold Coast here on level 6. The goji berries are not a joke, they're not just a snack, and yeah, it's a dried herb. Just like when you dry your teas, you make a tea out of the dried tea, right? So it's a dried herb, and you can try this with other herbs. It's not just goji berries, but it tastes great. It's really another good taste. I mean, I could come here today and show you like 50 different teas. The reason I've showed you the cacao with the bee pollen, because it's al dente. And the reason I'm showing you this one is moringa and goji berry. Like, wow, they're actual superfoods. It's not like you're putting celery, cucumber, and lettuce in a blender and calling it a superfood smoothie, which is just not correct. Seems everyone's putting this label of superfood as the latest buzzword, like terrorism or something. I hate these buzzwords because they ruin it and they dumb things down, and you get every idiot on TV broadcasting, oh, lettuce is a superfood now. All of a sudden everything's a superfood. So anyway, these are 2 actual superfoods, and what's that really mean? It means a food that's like way dense in nutrition. For instance, we've got moringa here. I mean, we're not going to go into goji berries. I might look that up on the net. And I can't remember anything, but that red pigment even means it's got zeaxanthin, which is good for the eyes. I found out that it produces blood. That's pretty important. even though the blood system's not as big as our lymph system, you know, it carries our vital nutrients around. A lot of people have blood issues, cardiovascular problems. So goji berries could definitely be in your mix. There's a reason that they're in like so many herbal mixes in the Chinese medicinal system. They're always in there. Not in every single one, but they're in many different herbal mixtures for a reason. And they're kind of like a thing that gives flavour at the same time as all this crazy nutrition. So it's awesome. Remember, goji berry is also, I think, the second highest berry in ORAC value. They're way above blueberries and black. They're above black raspberries even in antioxidation value. Pretty sure they're above the jabuticaba as well. I think they're the second highest after the golden berry in the berries in ORAC value. You could throw in a bit of cinnamon because cinnamon's more than cacao and gojis. So, I mean, the reason I put this together is because I'm not going to pour everything in there. You can go as complex as you like. I'm just trying to keep it. I was trying to really feel out the goji berry energy in this drink because I know already moringa. And moringa is dense. It's got like 7 times more B vitamin or potassium or something like this than banana. I've forgotten, but that's how intense the moringa is, that it's got 7 times the potassium of the apricot. It's got 10 times the vitamin C of an orange. That's how dense moringa is. I remember just vaguely seeing the list and going, wow. I can't remember exactly all the values, but it was multiples of normal foods like a banana, an apricot, an apple, da-da-da. So that's what a superfood is, when it's got just multiple times of nutrition than your normal food. And especially in this day and age when, you know, you go to the supermarket, we've got apples, but they're sweet. Original apples were like sour. We've taken the medicinal properties out of these fruits and we've made them just like a commercial product. And it's almost like we've made them into just a sellable, marketable product that tastes good to get people addicted. But it's not necessarily that nutritious. Now, I worked on a banana farm down the coast here in North New South Wales, Australia. And I was privy to, they put spray in the top in the actual banana flower as it's coming to flower into the bananas. They put spray under the roots because there's a beetle spray. I was spraying glyphosate or Roundup as well. So these things are toxic. And they've taken the nutrition out of it because they give them these artificial fertilizers. I was laying them with my own hands. I've seen the whole process now inside the farm. Tim was a really good farmer. He had the heaviest passion fruits on the North New South Wales coast. That's because he had dams and he was always running the water. That doesn't mean it's necessarily more nutritious. So there's another example of how Tim was making his product look good, but it wasn't necessarily the most nutrient dense. Definitely not, because, and I said to him one time, are you using rock dust? And he thought I meant molybdite and all this stuff. But I was talking wide spectrum mineral rock dust with 90 or 100 plus mineral and trace elements, like Gaia Glacial's rock dust or azomite, micronized rock dust. I was not talking about molybdite and these simple single mixtures. I was talking about a broad spectrum of minerals that were not in an artificial form. And no, he wasn't using that. And I got to the bottom of that after a year of working there, when I was finally laying out the molybdite and stuff. I said, Tim, this is not what I was talking about. This is not the wide spectrum mineral rock dust. So, listen, I've seen it from the inside, and that's what was going on. It makes me not want to eat a banana from the supermarket anymore. I really want to grow my own bananas after that. So, it's very interesting. We've turned, some of the best products in the world into just sellable, marketable, a product. 'product. We've turned a food into a product, I should have said. So yeah, back to this anyway. The moringa, you know, it's so dense because you're eating all these products that aren't necessarily nutritionally dense. Like an orange is the modern orange. Everything you see there, bar the avocados, they've really kept a lot of their nutrition. But a lot of the stuff we see in the store has been dumbed down, nutritionally speaking. And so I like to take real supplements. This is not a pill. I don't often take pills at all, but this is not a pill. That's the idea I want to get across to people. Get away from the synthetic society's miasma and get into the real living nutrition. And moringa, even though it's a dead leaf in powder form now, it's encapsulated 7 times more potassium than the banana, 10 times more vitamin C than the orange, etc. It's got this awesome profile of nutrition. So 1 cup of this, you could just add 1 cup a week, and that would do a great deal of good. And just keep eating how you're eating, if you were going to be that lazy about it, and take nutrition not that seriously. You know, for me, I'm trying to move more and more into just these things, just into superfoods. Why do we need herb 1050 and 620 and million zillion? We don't need all those herbs unless you've got the specific ailment that specific herb 1056 can treat. You want to go for the top 10, the top 20, the top 50 herbs in the world, you know, in all these systems. The Chinese, the Ayurveda, and the Shipibo Amazon people, you know, you go for all the top herbs in each system. And then pretty soon you realize that everything else kind of falls into the background, because you start to feel the energy of these things, and you don't suddenly, after a couple of weeks, I mean by suddenly, a couple of months tops, you start to realize, hey, hold on, this thing's giving me some new energy that I never had before, and I don't feel like that banana now. And then you eat that banana and you go, yup, what's going on here? And you eat that banana and you don't feel as nourished. Or you eat that apple and you're like, and you start to notice exactly how devoid they are, because this stuff is strong. These are the best foods in the world, you know. So it's like when you take propolis and you notice the difference between, or manuka honey compared to pasteurized, homogenized, heated up store honey that's just turned into sugar really and lost all of its vitamin and mineralization and antibacterial properties, like Capilano honey or something. Say you take propolis tincture, like this here, and get my little propolis tincture. This is a different one. I've showed you another one. This one is by Naro. I have showed you a different one in another video, Cabarita Bush Tucker Track. But the point is, and this is a non-alcoholic tincture because it's topically applicable. You can put it onto scars and wounds and it'll heal it. And HPV, human papillomavirus. So if you've got penis warts and stuff like that. So warts anywhere. So see how dark this is? And this is strong. You take this whole thing. You take that whole thing, and that's a big dose. You're going to mix this with water. So actually, I should put a little bit of this into my cup here. You know, just 1 drop or something. Couple of drops. That's all you meant. That's all they recommend. And I just usually put it on my tongue because I'm a hardcore. It's just the way I roll. I really like to get the full effect of things. I punch it in. Some people will say, oh, that's not a good way. And it's not good to teach that. I'm not telling you to go avoid recommendations and just pump it in. But these things are not pharmaceuticals. You'll pretty soon find that most people can take that approach and pump it in a little bit more. Because we're used to this whole paradigm, take 2 pills, call me tomorrow, just in case something happens, because they're very, these synthetic pills and stuff the doctor will give you, they're very harsh and they're not properly mixed by the earth. They're not balanced, was the word I was looking for. These things, like goji berries, they've been made by earth over millions of years. This idea has formed into a goji berry, of earth's idea of what a goji berry should be. The environment, you know, it's done all of its thing up until the goji berry tree arrived. and the goji berry vine arrived. Actually, there's a vine too. So there's 2 types of goji berries in Australia. Look that up. I've got it on one page. So yeah, it's very interesting. The Earth's balanced these things out, and man's only been in the laboratory just going, oh, we'll extract this and put it in like a really harsh form, and because it works, then yes, and it kills everything, and it's just not the way to do it because it's not balanced, and you're making other side effects. That's what Earth has made sure she doesn't do, so you don't get other side effects from taking too many goji berries. There's a big difference. You take a few pills, they say see you next week or tomorrow. With these, I like to tell people, go nuts with it. Don't go crazy, but go have a good dose. Don't just take a little handful and go, oh, that'll do. See what happens if you take 5 handfuls. I'm not recommending that for everyone. Only if you're in a space where you feel you could handle that, and you've been transitioning for a while, a couple of months, couple of years. Not if you're just new to superfoods. Don't go nuts, because I've been doing this for a while now. I love to take things as raw as I can get it and almost as harsh as I can get it, because I feel I'm squelching the parasites. So and there's a lot of reason behind that. It's not just that, I feel that I'm actually driving in the nutrition and I'm building up reservoirs of nutrition. And then I can fast without my body, screaming out. I'll feel comfortable fasting instead. So it's a lot of people, I've read a few articles recently, a lot of people having a lot of trouble with fasting. Now, we've been told this 5-2 fasting thing, where you just take a lot less calories and all this. New research is saying what I was thinking. You're better off doing 5 days with almost barely any food. Like, you have a goji berry tea with moringa. You've just got your nutrition for the day from that much moringa powder in the bottom. I'll put in about that much in the bottom. Quite a lot. You're probably not meant to put that much in. And I'll put probably 40 or 50 goji berries in that thing. And so when you do it like that, you're actually getting your nutrition, and your body won't scream out, because you didn't just have chicken and then go into a fast. If you do that, you eat the normal root vegetable, a bit of meat, maybe a sprig of parsley, and then fast, and you've had ice cream yesterday, inflamed your candida and your yeasts in your body, and then fast, that's where you're going to run into problems. And that's what I'm reading in all these articles. There was all these articles I was reading about of people that are just having issues going, how come I can't fast? I want to fast. Well, this is how you do it. You build up your nutritional reservoirs. And then when you go to fast for 5 days on nothing but soup, you'll get there. You've got reservoirs built up in the background. All you need then is a little bit of soup filler. Take your coconut water and this and that, and liquiditarian diet for 5 days. You'll make it because you've got these nutritional reservoirs. Your body's still ticking over. Your metabolism's not going to crash. And over time, from eating the superfoods and stuff, you've already squelched a lot of your parasitical action. So your body's not, those parasites aren't going to scream when it comes to that fasting week. So this is how we approach fasting, in my opinion. Also, you want to meditate, obviously, but I'm not going into that here. Just talking about the nutrition side of things. But hey, that is kind of nutrition in a way, because melatonin release from the pineal during a lot of meditation is an antioxidant. And there's a big article and a big section on that in Conscious Knowledge page in consciousazine.com if you're interested. So, this is the way I think we need to approach health and fasting, like I was saying, but just health in general. Because what if an EMP flare takes down all technology because there's a massive World War III or something? Just what if? Then, and suddenly in a day, all the food at the shop would be gone. Can you imagine the panic? Have you seen videos online of people breaking into shops and stuff? I have. So, I can just imagine if something like this happened, like an EMP, electromagnetic pulse device or something, took out, half of your country's or your city's power system or whatever, and it takes them a while to get the grid back up. It can maybe take weeks. The food's going to be gone, right? And most people don't have their own garden yet, and hence why you would grow a garden as well. And plus you would bypass all those sprays I was talking about earlier that Tim was putting on his bananas. And a lot of farmers are doing that. And, you know, what if that scenario happens? Then you've built up your nutritional reservoir by eating all these actual superfoods, moringa, goji, you know. So this is the way I think we need to approach food. And I'd like to reiterate, focus on the top ones. Find out what the top foods in each medicinal system are and try to get as much as those in you, fill up on those, and see then if there's room left for the average banana or the average this or the, you know. So first go for the good stuff. Makes sense. Why not treat yourself to the best food that we have? You know, for instance, here's another way of how I've built up my reservoir. I've taken a product called organosilica, which is monomethyl activated organic silica. It's not like, and I had a big fiasco about this in a video, it's not like silica dioxide that the chemist will sell you. Now with that actual good, the best silica product in the world, in my opinion, show me a better product. Email me, put it under the video, whatever. If you can show me a better product, I'm going to go to that one. But I'm pretty sure that organosilica is the best product, at the moment anyway. And what I've done there is by drinking that bottle, it has 60 doses in it. I mean, that thing actually lasted me longer than that. It lasted me 6 months because I didn't have it every day, twice a day. I have it intuitively. Oh, I feel like some silica. I'll take a little gulp, which is maybe a double dose in one go. It's just because I felt that way. And not only is that a crystal, and we could talk about, you know, that'll help your cells be able to communicate better and raise your vibration and all this, but just in the form of needing silica for our nails, hair, teeth, bones. There's a big calcium myth out there, you need calcium tablets. No, you don't need any calcium tablets. I'm sure you're filled up on them. If there's a calcium reservoir, you're filled up on them. Because there's been a big calcium myth. Osteoporosis rates in the Scandinavian countries, like my background, Dutch, you know, they're higher than in non-dairy eating countries.
Enjoy the weekend. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye. See you after Christmas. Easter.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
So when I've filled up on this organic silica, I don't need to eat as much leafy green vegetables because I've already filled up on silica. I've already filled up on iron from cacao and magnesium from cacao, you know, and I've already filled up my reservoirs, so then I don't have to eat it as much. So that way I don't pump a whole lot of stuff through me that my body has to work hard to suck the nutrients out of. I've just put the nutrients in there, you know. So that's proper supplementation. That's an example of proper supplementation and building our nutritional reservoir, the organosilica, the moringa powder. Okay, I hope that helps someone. Enjoy. Actually, let's sit for a second. Beautiful. Okay, let's have a quick look into the goji berries. So the goji berries have been eaten for generations in hope of living longer. They're one of the top longevity substances. Now they're chi energy. We have jing, which is like your life container energy. That's how long you're going to live. You pull from jing. That's where you pull from. And you pull your chi. If you've got no jing, you're not going to be able to produce chi, a sustained chi. And then you have Shen, which is aura from the heart. And then as we work our way up to the crystal room, third eye or eye of Horus diagram and the Egyptian diagram, and you have Wu Ji, which is cosmic tinkering, or actually being able to think for yourself. Now, this is chi energy. So, chi energy is like your metabolism and all out. Eating a lot of these gojis allows me to study much longer. I can study 16-hour days. So over time, people have used goji berries to treat many common health problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, fever, age-related eye problems because of zeaxanthin in there, the red pigment. You can make wines even out of it and juices. So any side effects? Yeah. If you take warfarin, a blood thinner, you may want to avoid goji berries. Goji berries may also interact with diabetes drugs and blood pressure drugs. So, the point is to not be on these drugs, and then you can take the best thing ever and you avoid ever being on those drugs. That's how we actually approach health. So they're the Lysum barbarum. I mean, you can look more into this. Let's just have a look if there is medical research. Not much evidence. They haven't done enough research by the looks of it over here in the West. So let's hope I can find a better link one day on these. Natural anti-inflammatory, definitely, I feel that. Antibacterial and antifungal. So it's going to definitely be a good thing to take before you go into fasting, because it's going to get rid of the funguses like candida. Well, sorry, that's a yeast, but it's going to get rid of all those funguses that act the same way to zap our energy and that start screaming out when you stop eating their food that they want. Their powerful antioxidant properties and polysaccharides, which are long-chain, sugary, gluconogenous sort of things, almost oils. If molecular chain length keeps going, you get oils. They help to boost the immune system, and they're also part of cells, and they help with our cellular respiratory nature and strengthen the cell's outer phospholipid layer, because it's polysaccharidal as well, not just phospholipid. In traditional Chinese medicine, goji is said to be a kidney and liver meridians tonic, and a tonic is something you can take every day. You can take goji berries every day because it's a tonic. If something's a medicine, it's different. You might take it for a month and then stop because it might have adverse effects, but not gojis, not tonics. So it's a liver and kidney tonic. A lot of people are having kidney problems. I know girls who are 20 years old who have got diabetes and kidney problems, and not just a few, there's quite a lot. What's going on here? Well, it's all this sugar. It just doesn't agree, all this refined sugar doesn't agree with many people's bodies, or I would say everyone's body. So not much information here, unfortunately. Let's have a better look. Maybe I should use Google Scholar for this one, I think. Let's have a look here. So here's a few studies on this article. Vitamin C content, but yeah, so much stuff has vitamin C content. Okay, there's the zeaxanthin I mentioned earlier, which is like the red. Yeah, and another thing I didn't mention is antioxidants do help against radiation. And what do we have? Fukushima there in Japan leaking radiation all over the world for the last 5 years. If you've read about Fukushima, they can't control it and they're dumping water. Water's leaking. Radioactive stuff is just leaking everywhere. Yeah, I would definitely say that it would help arthritis, goji berries too, just by the chi energy, because that's what chi energy is. It moves the energy around your body. That's what chi is. It's a movement energy. That's how it's different from Shen, Wu Ji, and Jing. For proper Wu Ji or cosmic tinkering or thinking force, you need chi. And then you need Shen, your own aura, yourself, to back it up. You need to be pulling from Jing, which are black foods like Romania, licorice. Anyway, again, not much in that. After 14 days, participants reported significant improvements in energy levels, definitely. It's not giving me too much info, this article. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, they're really packed with a good auric value or antioxidation. Like I said, I think they're the second highest berry. Okay, so they're not giving me too much on that. Let's just have a quick look at moringa while we're here. I'm going to type in moringa nutrition information. Or maybe analysis would have been a better one. Ooh, let's have a look at the pictures. Nice. Quick little picture on it. So yeah, there you go. That's what I was saying. So look, here's a nice little, this is a real quick picture, just to give you the idea. I don't know how accurate, but it shows you that there's a massive difference. This is the moringa leaves and the fresh leaves. So the dried leaves actually have more somehow. Huh? So the common foods, the carrots, 1.8 milligram of vitamin A, then the leaves are actually 6.8. So the point is, look, the calcium in milk, for instance, 120 milligram. The moringa leaf, they're saying here dried, it's 2,000. Potassium milligram, 88 milligram in bananas, 259 milligram in the moringa. This is what I was trying to tell you guys before. More protein than yogurt, double. Vitamin C, 30 milligram in oranges. Moringa is boasting 220 milligram fresh, and when it's dried, only 17. So that looks like that's a moringa leaf breakdown. Let's have a look. So it's got all 9 essential amino acids. I didn't know that. So the moringa's actually got all these 9 essential amino acids, and what that means is why they're essential amino acids is because our body doesn't naturally produce them. We have to get them from food. And it's got additional amino acids. Look at this big list. Alanine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamine, glycine, histidine, proline, serine, tyrosine, other beneficial ingredients, chlorophyll, carotenoids, cytokinins, flavonoids, omega-3, 6, 9 oils, plant steroids, polyphenols, lutein, the yellow pigment for your eyes that I was talking about when I was talking about the pistachios, xanthins like the zeaxanthin that we just mentioned, the red pigment in goji berries, rutin. Oh, there's rutin again. Rutin was in the bee pollen, remember? And more vitamins, vitamin A, alpha and beta carotene, B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 12, C, vitamin C, D, E and K, folate, folic acid, biotin, and more minerals, calcium, chloride, chromium, just like the The best food in the world for chromium is cinnamon, which is a tree bark, cinnamon. Remember I put cinnamon in my water? Copper, fluorine, iron, manganese, magnesium, molybdenum, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, selenium, sulfur and zinc. 4 times the calcium of milk, 3 times the potassium of bananas, 2 times the protein of yogurt, 4 times the vitamin A of carrots, and 7 times the vitamin C of oranges. That's why it's called the superfood. All the normal foods, it has multiples more than them. So there you go. Oh my god, it actually tastes good. Because this was my first goji berry tea. I thought the moringa was going to drown out any good taste because it doesn't taste like awesome. Powder doesn't really taste like much. It tastes like a green powder. But I thought, oh, that might null out the flavour of the goji. But it hasn't. It tastes awesome. Oh my god, and the energy is just amazing. I'm feeling like sparks flying. Whoa. As you can see, I've almost finished this tea, the goji and moringa, and my head is spinning. You get a little bit of a whoa, because the nutrition is going straight to your head. So it's a good thing, and my eye's now clearing, my third eye's now clearing out. I'm like, whoa. Nutrition spin. Awesome. So just be aware, and if that happens to you, it's not a bad thing. You're not getting sick. The sickness is being pushed out of you.